Noisy Pixel.
We don't get too many Brick Breaker games anymore, but I can imagine the community knows what to expect when one releases. While developer Lilymo Games is shaking up the genre a bit with their release Twin Breaker: A Sacred Symbols Adventure. Through various modes and even a lengthy narrative, this is one experience that is only held back by its lack of options. Twin Breaker: A Sacred Symbols Adventure surprisingly has a story mode, which runs as an intermission between stages. The story finds Colin Moriarty and Chris Raygun on a mission to recover a signal of a lost ship set out to discover a new planet for America to colonize. The narrative ends up becoming a bit more complicated as they find out not all the pieces are adding up. I found myself enjoying the story for what it was, and felt that it broke up the brick-breaking portions of the game. Each dialogue portion meant a milestone within the game itself, and I was genuinely interested in where the story would lead. The conclusion was a surprise and fun to watch play out. Given that Moriarty wrote the game, there are a few catchphrases and nods to his various podcasts and projects. However, pressing the X while text is still auto-typing on the screen will skip the text entirely, which caused me to miss some parts of the story. Also, the conversations take place on the same screen for the most part, but I would have liked additional assets to show objects that the characters are referring to during dialogue. Still, this is a Brick Breaker and not wholly a story-based game. The actual gameplay will have players control 2 or more paddles on the screen at one time, using both the analog sticks. This is really tough to get used to at first, but over time it does get more comfortable. That is until the game adds more paddles and completely rocks your world. The levels vary enough that not every layout is the same. Each level contains hazards and a few unbreakable blocks that make navigating them a bit more challenging. Typical pain points of Brick Breakers can be found here, as there will always be that final block that you just can't break. This isn't a huge issue, but there's also a timer that means game over when it exhausts. The difficulty increases, but it's never unmanageable. There are a few stages that kick my ass, but the game offers unlimited lives if you just pay 100 points. This makes the first time through more like a trial run before you go through a second time like a champ and top all the high scores. To assess or hinder your paddles are additional items found during levels. These items come in the form of heavy or multiple balls and even alter the length of the paddle itself. However, there are a few enemies who can appear and slow your paddle down while taking away some of your earned points. Still, the game lacks variety, as Colin and Chris are practically the same paddle and even share the same special. This means nothing distinguishes themselves during a level. There are additional modes outside of the story mode, but most of these are just trials where you can see how long you can survive. They aren't too exciting, but they are there to get a high score. One thing the game lacks is a proper settings menu where you can change the volume or adjust the other aspects of the game. Graphics in the game are fairly minimalistic, but it fits the theme. You aren't going to get blown away, but it wasn't like I felt like something was missing. The sound design is actually really good, with a few standout tracks that will get stuck in your head for some time after playing. Twin Breaker: Sacred Symbols Adventure sets itself apart from other Brick Breakers by not only having a narrative, but also by including some unique systems. The multiple paddles add some new elements to the genre to put Brick Breaker masters' skills to the test. Regardless of the challenge, the game has a nice difficulty curve that it's possible for anyone to just pick up and enjoy a few levels at a time. Still, the game lacks options and some quality of life features that could have made the entire experience more enjoyable. There are a few different modes here to keep you playing, but I can see most players just getting through the story and then quickly moving on to something else. Noisy Pixel is giving Twin Breaker: A Sacred Symbols Adventure a 7 out of 10. Thank you for watching. Please read the full review at noisypixel.net. Noisy Pixel is run by a group of gamers who work hard to deliver news, reviews, previews, and more. Please subscribe to keep up with all our future content.